Happy today to begin the first week of the subscription service for this class. So many of you maybe remember me the last few weeks about talking about how you can sign up for these classes, and you'll get a little bit more interactive way of being involved with the lessons. So I'll give you more information on how to do that, but welcome to those who have started with the subscription this first week. I'm very happy that you'll be joining me here. So, just looking over here. There we are. Hello, everyone. Looks like we have some people that I've met before. Luciana, welcome back. Yusuf, welcome. Yusuf is one of our subscribers, so thank you for the subscription, and I look forward to interacting with you more. Rosa, welcome, and Mirvan, welcome. So, if you're out there, if you're new to this, basically how it works is we do this class streaming for 1 hour today on Tuesday and at the very same time on Thursday, and then you'll see this chat function under the screen, which is what I'm looking at when I look down here, looking at the chat feature, just making sure I'm not missing any comments, and that's our way that we communicate with each other. So I see if you want to say something to me, or we'll do like a small assignment during class or discussion, and that's going to be our way to talk with each other. So if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, please feel free to send them to the chat. In the chat, I will be able to answer those questions for you. So since we're starting the first of the subscription classes this week, the class that will run from now until the beginning of December, I'll do a little bit more of an introduction this time because it's like the first day of school, So I will introduce you a little bit more to what this class is, who I am, and then try to get to know you a little bit as well. So I'm happy to get to know everybody. I see we have one more person, Dr. Lalit, welcome, and I thank you for the subscription service as well, and we're happy to get started with the class. So here we go. So to start out today, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself. So like I said, my name is Sagen Ewell. You can contact me through my email for this class, which I will put in the comments right now. There you go. So if you have any questions or as part of the subscription class, we will be able to interact over email a little bit. Feel free to contact me there. You can contact me there, and then for information about the class, tell you a little bit more about myself. So for those of you who don't know me, I live in Spokane, Washington, and I'm working with the Spokane College of English Language right now. Let me get a map pulled up for you here. So there we go. There's our Smrt class, and we'll do map of United States. Here we go. So I live in the United States of America, and our school is located here in Spokane, Washington. Now, there are two different Washingtons. There's this one in the northwest corner, then there's another one over here, Washington, D.C., that maybe you've heard of. That's the capital, the one you hear in the news and everything. That's not where we live. So we live here, based out of Spokane, Washington, and then our other partner school, the Canadian College of English Language, is based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, and that's actually in Canada, which is a different country, but we speak the same language. So for those of you who've signed up for the class, this is what the class looks like. The curriculum is called English for the health sciences 125. So for those of you who are going to be joining this class, this is what you'll see. This is how you will be able to look at the materials for the class, and how you'll be able to see the lessons and the homework and the quizzes and things like that. So I'll give you a short walkthrough through that. I see we have a question already from Dr. Lalit. You're asking about the code to join the class. Very good question. So today, after class, I will assign some homework to those who are doing the subscription class, and as part of the homework, I will send the code that you use to add the class. So for right now, you don't have to worry about that, but right when class is done, you will be able to, everything will be lined up once you attend the class, and I will get you that code. So for now, you don't have to worry. So this is what the curriculum looks like. We have different units: saving lives, science and technology, in the pharmacy, doctor's advice, patient history, etc. There's a lot of different ones. And in each unit we have different topics like grammar, reading, vocabulary, writing, speaking, different things that we're going to focus on with the units. So the lessons, let me pull up today's lesson looks like this. The lessons are these pages. In the pages, there are different kinds of materials that we'll go through. So there could be a reading section. There are exercises that are attached, which is like the extra work that we do. To access those, you click on menu and go to exercise. So you'll see these different exercises we can go over together. And this leads to another very important aspect of this curriculum, and that is Google Documents. So Google Docs. For this to work well, it's important in order to use Google Docs, it's important for you to have a Gmail account. Gmail is a type of email that has a lot of different things connected to it. So to make a Gmail account, if you don't have one, it's very easy. You can just go to Google and type gmail.com. Oops, and you'll get my Gmail account. It will tell you how to register at that point. Through your Gmail account, you can open Google Document. And you do that by opening your email, clicking on this button, going to Docs, and then opening a new blank document, just like that. It's pretty straightforward. We'll do a lot of our work in Google Documents. Google Docs is also a place where you can take notes during class. As I mentioned before, I think it's very useful to do note taking. You learn new words, or you have a question or something like that. It's very useful, and so you can use the Google Docs to take your notes, and then you can also use them once you have, let's say you finished a homework assignment. You can click the share button, or you can go file, share. There's different ways to do it, and that's how you can turn in a homework assignment to me, for example. So Google Documents and Smrt are two very important characteristics of this class. So using that, I will be helping you to learn English for the health sciences. So this is, for me, one of my jobs. My other job, it's a little bit related with the health professions. What I do is I help medical students and nursing students and different kinds of people studying health sciences. I help connect them to service projects in different parts of the world. So maybe someone wants to they're studying medicine and they really want to go get some exposure and experience learning about medicine in another country. I help facilitate, I help people to find those opportunities. So this is something that is important for me, and I'm happy to share. And So I'm excited to have you here for this class. So that's a little bit about me, but I'm also curious to know a little bit about all of you, especially since some of you now have been in this class a few times for the streaming version, and others doing the subscription service will be interfacing a lot more, will be interacting more, and I really want to know, like, who are you and what is your background, how much English do you know, and what do you hope to learn from the class. So I have a few questions I'll ask you. I'm going to write the question up here, and then I will give you maybe a couple minutes or so to work on an answer. You can type the answer into the chat, then we'll read it, talk about it, and then I'll ask another question. So I have 3 questions. Oops. 3 questions to get to, or 3 questions for you that are very similar. 3 questions to get to know you, and then we'll get to the lesson. So, first question. Make sure it's big enough for everyone to see. Make it nice and big. Question number 1. Where are you from, and what is your occupation? Now, occupation is a good word to know. It means your job, or maybe what you do with your day. It means how you spend your time, what your work is. So maybe your occupation is a student, maybe a medical student, or your occupation is a doctor or a teacher. Those are some examples. So a good answer to this question would be something like, I am from the United States and I am a teacher. Something like that. So this is just for me to get an idea of, a little bit of who you are and how we can best serve you in this class. So I'll give you a couple minutes here. You can type your answers into the chat, and then we will discuss them in just a moment. All right, welcome back. So we have some answers coming in here. Turn the camera back on. Hello, welcome back. So let's look at what we've got. And if more answers keep coming in, that's okay. We'll look at them as they come. So it looks like we have a student from Mexico who's an architect. Jose, welcome. Student from Tunisia who is a full-time student. Welcome. Godria, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I'm really sorry. Rosa from Algeria, she's also a full-time student. Luciana from Brazil, she is an English teacher. Wow, congratulations. Let's see, we've got Kiran from India, living in the United States as a physical therapist. Awesome, this class could be very relevant for you. Let's see, and we've got Benja, or Benha, I'm gonna guess. Benha, maybe short for Benjamin, from Guatemala, also a student. And then, let's see, Mohammed, he's from Morocco, and he is employed. And then Dr. Lilit from India, living in Australia. He's a surgeon. Wow, congratulations. It's a wonderful profession. And then, yeah, Rosa's continuing her education, so wonderful. I'm glad to get to know you guys, because that will help me to know more of what you're interested in getting from this class. So thank you everyone for your responses. If you're watching and you haven't responded, feel free to still put your answer in later, and that won't be any problem at all. So one thing I do want to mention, I saw a few people on here who I just want to make a grammar comment. So a few people said something like, I'm from the United States and I'm student, or I'm doctor, something like that. Just to be clear, we need to make sure to put the article a in front of it, or an, depending on what the noun is that you're using for your occupation. So I'm from the United States and I am a student. I am a doctor. I am an unemployed person. So other than that, great job. So next, get to know you question for the class. Put it right here. Why did you choose this class, and what do you hope to learn? So again, I'm curious to know what you want from this class, why you're here. So a good answer would be something like, I chose this class because I am a doctor and I want to improve my vocabulary for my practice. Or I chose this class because I want to learn some English. I hope to learn how to read better. So maybe try to include a topic in there. I'll type in here a topic, and we'll say maybe like vocabulary, reading, grammar, writing, etc. Anything else that you think is related to English language that we could do in this class. So why did you choose this class, and what do you hope to learn? including some kind of topic about like you want to improve vocabulary, reading skills, grammar, writing, and how that relates to what you want to learn. So I'll give you another couple minutes. This question might be a little bit more difficult, and that is, it's okay. I want to make the question more difficult because I want to see what your writing level is like. So I'll give you a few more minutes to work on this question, and then we'll come back again and talk about it. All right, welcome back. So we're looking at the answers here. I'll be back on the screen in just one moment. And should be back on. Hello, welcome back. So looking at everyone's answers here, this is really exciting for me because I want to know better what you want to learn so that we can make the class more personalized, more specific just to you guys. So let's see, so we've got some information, got some responses here. So Dr. Lalit hopes to upgrade his current status of English and get global exposure with emphasis on reading skills. Good to know. So reading, we will be doing a reading exercise right after this today. All right. Rosa likes to attend a lot of Smrt classes, Smrt Live classes, all of them actually. That's really nice. She says she used to hate English, but then now she doesn't anymore. She even says she's addicted to it in a different post there. And thanks to Zach, Sean, and Mark for their great classes. So those are some of our other live streamers. We have a few other really great ones that you can check out as well. And it sounds like Rosa's an expert on those classes. Let's see. Benha hopes to get some new words, like catch some new words, so vocabulary maybe, and just enjoy the class, and improve his English, learn a little bit about our culture. Yeah, we can incorporate some cultural lessons here too, definitely. Let's see. Muhammad hopes to improve his vocabulary, and to learn and benefit more information for his own health. Great reason, very good reason to, so you can improve your own ability to stay healthy when you need to use English. It's a good option, good reason. Kieran wants to have improved speaking skills to help communicate better with patients. I think this can really help you learn some concepts that will definitely improve your speaking. Even just hearing and practicing and reading and writing, all of that will improve speaking, and allow you to have more confidence when you're using English with your patients. Let's see. Luciana says she's fallen in love with Mark and Sean's live streams, and she hopes to learn more English, specifically vocabulary for the health sciences, and likes my real English accent. That's fun. So something that's interesting, there are a lot of different accents within the English language, and even in different parts of the United States. You can go back to this map. People who live in this area have a different accent than people who live down here, and they have a very different accent than people who live down here, and people who live up in the Northeast. Each region has its own way of speaking. So my accent is kind of a neutral, regular American accent. It's also more regionally specific to the Pacific Northwest. And what's interesting is you'll notice that as soon as you cross the border into Canada, there's some differences in the accent. So if you see some of the live streaming classes from the teachers in Canada, you'll hear just little differences in the way we speak. But that's part of the fun of learning a language. All right, a new vocabulary. So, wonderful. So I hope to focus the class then, specifically maybe on reading and vocabulary. It seems like that's come up a lot, and specifically for the health sciences. So I appreciate the information. I just have one more question for you. This one will be a little bit easier, and this will help me, again, to get a better understanding of where everyone is at in their English language learning career. So if each person could please answer, how much English instruction have you had? So this a good answer to this question would be something like, I have studied English for 1 year, or I have studied English for 10 years, or I don't understand, that would show. Maybe you haven't had too much English, and that's okay. The reason why I want to know is because if everyone in the class and everyone who is registered for this class has a lot of English instruction, then I will teach the class differently than if people are beginning their English learning. If they have a basic understanding of English, then the class will be a little bit different. So give you another, this one shorter, maybe just 2 minutes to answer this question. How much English instruction have you had? All right, welcome back. Looks like we've got some good answers coming in. Turn the video back on. Hello, welcome back. And if you are still answering, that's no problem. Just type your answer and we'll look at it when it comes in. So, let's see. We've got Mr. Sorius from Nicaragua. He says he's learned some from family. Let's see. Luciana has studied English for 4 years in university. Wow. When she got to her first class, the teacher spoke only English and she couldn't understand a word. The more she spoke, the more she got fascinated. I mean, she loved it and was curious and interested. That's a great story of learning English. And that's normal for people when you first are learning a language. You hear a lot of it and it's hard to understand. But you get more and more and more, the longer you study it, the longer you practice it, you learn a lot more. So congratulations for doing that hard work. Let's see. Mohammed has studied English for 2 years at an American Language Center in Morocco. Wonderful. Kieran has studied English for many years. Godria for 1 year. We've got a lot here. Luciana from a lot of teaching, but yeah, teachers do need to keep learning. They always need to study. That's very important. I think you're probably a very good teacher. Benha, he works in an English call center. Oh, that's great. Those are really good jobs in Central America. So I'm glad to have you here and hope we can help you out. And Dr. Laylit studying English for over 15 years, but lacking in some areas. It's understandable. It takes a long time, a lot of work, but 15 years, congratulations. That's wonderful. Very impressive. And Luis says he studied English for 2 years. All right. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing all that information. For all of these questions, it helps me understand a little bit more who you are and how to make the class better for you. So we will move on to the lesson now. And I think it's good because it's good that everyone is at the levels that they are right now, because that means that this lesson, I think, will be good practice. It's not super difficult, it's not too hard, but it's also not a beginner level lesson. So we'll try to keep everything in that level of kind of moderate to advanced English for everyone. If at any point during the class we're going too fast, or you don't understand something I say, or you have a question, you don't get the lesson, feel free to type it into the chat or send me an email, and I'll answer either now, or if it's an email, I'll answer it later after the class. So this is for those of you who have the subscription to Smrt. You'll be able to access this. If you can't already, you will soon. And what this is what one of the lessons looks like I mentioned earlier. So this is a reading lesson, and it's specifically about HIV. HIV is a disease. It's often combined with another disease called AIDS. So you might hear HIV AIDS. And what they are is they're related diseases that causes the body to attack itself. So usually you have an immune system that protects your body from sickness, from a disease or a virus, but HIV or AIDS takes your immune system and turns it back in on yourself, and your body starts to deteriorate. It's a terrible disease. It's very sad. So this article is asking the question: can we stop HIV? Is this a disease we can stop? So what I will do is read the little introduction here. We'll go to the article. We click this link, and then we'll read through it together, and then I will explain the homework for those of you who are participating in the subscription part of the class. I'll explain the homework, and then I will email you that homework afterwards, and then that will probably conclude our lesson for today. So the introduction here, I'll make it a little bit bigger too. Here we go. HIV has been a world crisis since the early 1960s. It attacks the immune system and destroys your white blood cells. To read more about what HIV is, go here. There's a link. Today's reading is about how researchers have found a vaccine that might work to stop HIV. So this picture here is the White House. This is where the President of the United States lives. And this big ribbon here is just to commemorate World AIDS Day. It's to show support and care for the disease. Let's see, so we'll go to the article. Here you go. So the title of the article is here: Novel HIV Vaccine Prevents Disease in Monkeys. I'll make this a little bit bigger again so it's easier to read for us. There we go. Okay. So I will read the article for us, and you feel free to read along. If you have any questions, type them into the chat. It looks like we have one question from Rosa. HIV is an abbreviation for what? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly, but we can look it up here. There it is. Human immunodeficiency virus. This word immunodeficiency we can break down. Immuno refers to your immune system. That's how your body protects itself from sickness or disease. And deficiency means something is not, there's not enough. It's gone bad. So immunodeficiency, it means that it's a virus that causes your immune system to not work, to be deficient for what you need. And then AIDS is the autoimmune deficiency syndrome. So that's when your body like turns and starts to attack itself. It's very bad. So, all right, read through the article together. U.S. researchers are calling it a big deal. Means it's very important. Next year, human clinical trials could begin on a novel AIDS treatment that alters DNA, turning cells into HIV fighters, like in a good way. The treatment has completely protected monkeys from a primitive version of the immune disorder. So, they're working on a vaccine that is very important. It's like a medicine that helps the body to be immune or resist another disease. So they looks like they are testing it on monkeys. They do that because the monkey's body system is similar to people. And anyway, and then they're going to explain a little bit about what that looks like. Researchers are engineering healthy muscle cells to introduce them to crank out genetic instructions that could potentially neutralize HIV, the virus that causes AIDS in humans. Scientists at Scripps Research Institute used the technique to completely protect monkeys whose immune systems were repeatedly exposed to simian immunodeficiency virus, or SIV, a primate version of HIV. Primate, that refers to monkeys, like a group of monkeys. So what this is saying is that these researchers are working to make, make a certain healthy, functional type of muscle cell, and then like put them into the body of the affected animal, and then those cells start to produce, that's what crank out means, produce genetic instructions, so like information for the rest of the body to use that could really, instead of making the HIV virus confuse the body and harm itself, make it work to neutralize the virus, which means makes it go away. So they found it in a similar virus that happened to monkeys. Oops. All right, so starting with this part here. After treatment, Scripps researcher Michael Farzan says that the macaque monkeys never became infected despite the challenge. We continued to administer the virus, doubling the dose each time. We've now gone with 6 doses that were capable of infecting the control animals. Those are the ones that wouldn't be treated with the vaccine. We've gone to 16 times that, says Farzan. The findings were reported in the journal Nature. So they're testing it, they keep giving it to the monkeys, giving them more, and infecting them, and they are not getting the virus. The findings were reported in the journal Nature. We'll start here. Traditional vaccines train the immune system to recognize and destroy microbial invaders. But experimental AIDS vaccines fail because the virus is continually changing its appearance to evade destruction. This means that usually what's happened, instead of addressing the virus itself, vaccines that have been used, they are trying to get the body's immune system to recognize and destroy something that would be coming in to harm it, like HIV or AIDS. But these AIDS vaccines have failed because that virus is constantly changing, and so the body doesn't know how to respond to it, and then it attacks the body. So we'll move on to here. Farzan, the study's lead investigator, says the new approach tricks HIV into revealing a key viral surface protein. The compound targets the portion of the virus that is always mutating to avoid the immune system. So that's the one that was like changing its appearance to evade destruction. That's a different way of saying mutating to avoid the immune system. All right, almost down to the bottom here. Once bound, a second protein. Sorry, got confused for a second. Once bound, a second protein makes the virus self-destruct, so it never has a chance to infect cells. So they've got that new protein to come in and stick to the virus and confuse it so it destroys itself instead of destroying the body. Because HIV is fooled, starting this next part here, because HIV is fooled into thinking that it's binding the cell, it undergoes the changes that it would normally do when it's ready to enter a cell. And those changes, if it's not near a cell, inactivate the virus, said Farzan. So it's tricking it to start like thinking it's infecting a cell, but it's not actually, so then it kills itself. And almost to the bottom here. The muscle cells continually pump out decoys that fool the virus into destruction. So that means like false cells, things that make the virus think that it's winning, but it's not. Farzan says that the compound has the potential both to protect against infection with HIV and to fight the virus in infected people. The team wants to begin clinical trials in patients who cannot tolerate antiretroviral drugs. So that means they want to start using it in humans whose bodies maybe wouldn't be able to survive, or they don't want to use the antiretroviral drugs, which is a long name for what they have been using currently for the HIV treatment. So that's the article for today. I didn't give everyone time to read through the whole thing like I usually do, because today's lesson is just a little bit different. I'm going to explain the process of assigning homework and turning homework in to those that are doing the subscription class. So for homework today, for those of you who are doing the subscription class, I will send you information. I will send you information about this page. And what you do is you log into Smrt, which many of you have already. Then you go here to menu, and under lesson documents, you go to exercise. Then you open this, and it brings you to this Google Doc, just like I mentioned earlier, just like I've been using. So this Google Doc has the explanation. For the assignment. So what it says is, read the news article on Voices of America. That's what we just read. While you're reading, you need to collect a list of new vocabulary words here. Reading is one of the greatest ways to build your vocabulary. After you have listed vocabulary words, continue the comprehension question. So there's a lot of spaces here. We'll say just 10 words. Just find 10 vocabulary words that you don't know. And then in order to write on this document, what you do is you'll go, when you get it, which I will share with you, you click File, and you go to make a copy, click OK, and now you can write on it. So when you do the reading, so go to back to the article, read through it again, and you find a word you don't know. Let's say neutralize. You find this word neutralize. So what you do is take the word, where'd we go? Bring it to your document here, paste the word there, and then find the definition. So you can find the definition, you can guess at it by reading the article, by saying, like, looking for clues for how it might give you information about it, or you can just go use a dictionary or use Google. Look up neutralize definition. There we go. Render something ineffective or harmless by applying the opposite force or effect. Now you don't have to say it. You can copy that if you want. The best way to do it would be to put it in your own words. So say, okay, we read that, render something ineffective or harmless. Maybe you have to look up another word like render. Once you understand it, then you can write down maybe to make something bad not harmful. That would be a fine one. So that would apply here. And there's different ways you can use neutralize. Mostly like make it not effective is what you're saying. But for this application, make something bad not harmful. So go through, do that for 10 words, 10 vocabulary words, and then answer these comprehension questions. So again, you can use the article, you can use WebMD, you can use any kind of resources you have and answer, what is HIV? That's something we talked about already. So you can copy and paste like what we had here, human immunodeficiency virus, but it'd be best to use a full sentence like HIV is a virus that causes the body's immune system to not be effective. And yeah, so go through, read these questions, answer it, and then when you're done, this is how you turn it into me. So you go here, file, share, and then you type in the email address that I will have sent you, which is sagan.live@smartenglish.com. You can add a note if you want, and then you send it over to me, and that's how you turn in your homework. So if you have questions about that, feel free to email me as well, and that's how we'll turn in homework. So for those of you who are in the subscription class, I will be sending you this homework right after class is done. For those of you who are not, you won't have to do the homework, yay, or it's nice maybe. If you do want to do the homework, if you want to participate in that way with me, you can go to smartenglish.com. There should be links right below your screen, and there's information about how to sign up for the classes. For those of you who are, please make sure to do the homework before, we'll say Wednesday night at midnight your time, wherever you are. So before the end of the day on Wednesday, so that I can grade it for our class on Thursday. Turn it in just like I explained. That will also be how we will take attendance for this time, and how we'll start to make your grade for the class. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to email me. But that is it for class today. It's 5 o'clock my time. Thank you everyone for joining me. I had a great time with you, and I look forward to seeing you all again at the same time, same place on Thursday. So have a great week, and good luck with the homework, everybody.